It is 2 o'clock in the morning, and while the rest of the world is paralyzed by sleep, you feel like you finally have 500 browser tabs open in your brain, but for the first time today, they are all playing the right music. You have spent 14 hours feeling like a passenger in your own life, but suddenly the fog clears and your creativity surges as if someone just flipped a biological light switch. This phenomenon is not luck, and it is not a sign that you are broken, because it is actually a biological release of creative inhibitors that occurs when your brain stops feeling rushed by the demands of the day. Most people assume that being a night owl is a productivity flaw, but the reality is that your brain is finally moving into its high-level thinking mode. During the daylight hours, your brain is essentially a very dramatic employee who is constantly trying to escape uncomfortable or emotionally threatening tasks. We start our mornings by reacting to other people's problems and checking notifications, which floods our system with cortisol. This is the stress hormone that spikes the second you see a text or an email, and it puts your brain in a state of continuous partial attention. When you are in this state, you are half scrolling and half living, which means you never have the mental energy to be truly creative. Your brain is designed to react fast to survival threats rather than to create deep work, and as long as the world is awake and demanding your time, you are stuck in reacting mode. The reason the 2 a.m. surge feels so powerful is that it acts as a massive transition pause for your nervous system. For thousands of years, belonging to a group meant survival, so your brain learned to scan every social interaction for signs that your relationships were safe. During the day, your mind is constantly replaying awkward moments, or analyzing a job interview that went sideways because it is trying to protect you from social embarrassment. This is what scientists call post-event rumination, and it is an exhausting mental loop that drains your confidence and your peace of mind. At 2 in the morning, the danger of social evaluation disappears because nobody is watching and nobody is texting you back. When your brain receives a signal that says you are safe, it reduces stress chemicals and boosts feel-good ones. Without the pressure of the daytime world, your brain finally stops replaying conversations and starts problem-solving. During the day, your brain treats every unfinished task or worry like an open browser tab running in the background, which prevents you from fully relaxing. But when the world goes silent, you are essentially performing a nightly brain dump where you can finally let go of the clutter. This clears the way for your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical and observant part of your brain, to come back online. By choosing to focus on your creative work in the silence, you are performing a mental hijack that pulls energy away from the fear center of your brain, known as the amygdala. Many night owls find that their inner critic finally goes quiet in the middle of the night. If you grew up with conditional love or felt you had to earn affection, you might have developed a relentless narrator that follows you into adulthood. This inner critic tells you that every failure is proof of your worthlessness, which makes you avoid difficult creative tasks during the day. But at 2 a.m., the emotional weight of your work feels lighter, because your brain is no longer trying to avoid the feeling of being not good enough. You stop waiting to feel ready, and you just start because the stakes feel lower when the rest of the world is asleep. Starting is often 90% of the battle, and night owls use the silence to build what is called success momentum. Your brain releases dopamine not when you finish a giant goal, but when you complete tiny actions. When you take one small step on a creative project at night, your brain detects progress and rewards you with focus and optimism. This creates a psychological snowball that makes you feel capable and motivated throughout the night. You aren't just thinking about your life because you are finally acting on it. This creative state is also a result of a biological system flush. When you are stressed during the day, you often have shallow breathing and a tight jaw, which sends a massive signal to your nervous system that something is wrong. At night, your body naturally begins to relax and your nervous system shifts into its calm mode. This reduces anxiety and rewires your brain to be more emotionally balanced, which is the perfect environment for creative insights. You are no longer fighting your own biology because you are working with it. You can actually strengthen this creative superpower by using a mental mirror. Instead of setting giant and overwhelming goals for your late-night sessions, you should ask yourself, what is one thing you can do to make your work just 1% better? This simple question gives your brain a clear direction and tells your subconscious that you are in control. This focus on progress rather than perfection reduces mental overload and allows your creativity to flow naturally. The ultimate reason you feel so clear at 2 a.m. is that you have finally found a way to protect your peace. You have created a sacred window of time where you are not consuming drama or negative input. This acts as a happiness anchor that locks in a positive emotional state and makes your brain more resilient to frustration. Your brain follows the emotional flavor of the first joyful moment you create, so if you spend your night in a state of creative flow, that mood will follow you for hours. However, you don't have to wait until the middle of the night to access this state of clarity. You can learn to signal safety to your brain during the day by using simple physical switches. You can try to use reverse breathing to flush the stress gas out of your system and hit the brake pedal on your heart rate. It allows you to take control of your mood in 15 seconds or less, no matter how loud the world gets. Happiness and focus are not things that you find because they are states that you activate. If you feel like an outsider because you operate best when the world is asleep, you must realize that this is your hidden superpower. You are not lazy because your brain is simply waiting for the right signal to move from reacting mode to creating mode. You are the kind of person who takes care of your own happiness, and that means honoring the rhythms that work for you. Every time you choose to use your late-night clarity for something meaningful, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. You are telling your subconscious that your creativity is a non-negotiable standard for your life. You are no longer a passive victim of a noisy world because you have become an active agent of your own genius. Your brain is not broken and it is not failing you, because it is just waiting for you to lead it into the silence. Stop fighting the night brain and start using it to build the life you have always wanted. Take 5 minutes tonight to breathe and acknowledge that you are starting fresh. The rest of your story follows the intentional joy you choose to create right now. If this helped you understand your own mind better, then share this with someone who is currently staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. Your day starts now, so make it a good one.